Yuki, the most trusted student council president at school, stood in front of everyone at the morning assembly as usual. The students listened to his every word. However, after school that day, he suddenly disappeared. He was last seen in front of an old warehouse tucked away behind the school. No one has an answer to where Yuki went or why she disappeared. The next day, Yuki didn't show up to school. His desk was empty, with nothing to indicate his presence. His friends are worried and the teachers are confused. But Yuki's best friend Naoki notices that the entire school is strangely quiet about his disappearance. It's as if Yuki wasn't even at this school, and no one speaks his name. Naoki recalls his last conversation with Yuki. That day, when Yuki seemed worried about something, he quietly revealed, behind the scenes of the school, there's a secret hidden that no one knows about. Naoki thinks about the meaning of those words. However, he had never imagined that it was related to Yuki's disappearance. The days at school continue, but Yuki is nowhere to be seen. Naoki decides to investigate his disappearance on his own. When I asked his friends and teachers about it, all they said was, "Yuki? Who is that?" It was as if Yuki's presence had disappeared from the school. Naoki cannot accept this. The memories I had with him, the time we spent together, there was no way they were all illusions. His quest begins at the location where Yuki was last seen, an old warehouse behind the school. Naoki musters up his courage to open the warehouse door and steps inside. At that moment, he stepped into the school's hidden history and Yuki's secret, something he didn't know yet. The moment Naoki stepped into the dark interior of the warehouse, he felt something was wrong. The air was heavy and there was a silence as if time had stopped. He grabs a flashlight and begins searching for clues about Yuki. However, the warehouse was full of old teaching materials and equipment, and nothing particularly noteworthy was found. The only thing that caught Naoki's attention was the old school photo hanging on the wall. Yuki isn't in it, but for some reason I can't take my eyes off the photo. When Naoki leaves the warehouse and returns to school, he tries to talk to her about Yuki's disappearance. However, when he said his name, teachers and students alike only got confused looks. Who is Yuki? Naoki becomes even more confused by her reaction. Had they really forgotten about Yuki or are they hiding something? Naoki decides to check Yuki's locker. The locker was unlocked, but contained only ordinary school supplies and a few notebooks. In one of them, they found a note written in Yuki's handwriting, "Find out the secrets behind the school." This was clearly a message from Yuki. But what does that mean? And why was he chasing this secret? The next day, Naoki decided to investigate other areas behind the school. Inside, he discovers an old map in the corner of the library. The map showed another building that was not supposed to be behind the current school. That part of the map has the word "forbidden area" written in small letters. This forbidden area may be the key to solving the mystery of Yuki's disappearance. Naoki decides to find out if there is a connection between the warehouse where Yuki was last seen and the forbidden area marked on this old map. He strengthens his resolve to find Yuki at all costs and uncover the secrets hidden behind the school. In the process, he stumbles upon a forgotten story buried within the school's long history. Naoki's determination is firm, and he begins to explore the forbidden area behind the school. However, when he actually visited the place, he found that it was just a vacant lot and there were no particularly suspicious buildings or entrances. Although disappointed, Naoki did not give up and decided to investigate his surroundings more closely. Old leaves and branches were scattered on the ground, and at first glance it looked like there was nothing there. But upon closer inspection, you noticed that there was an unnatural depression in the ground. Curious, Naoki began digging the hole and eventually came to a hard wooden lid. He strained to open the lid and saw a staircase that appeared to lead underground. At the bottom of the stairs was a narrow passageway, and at the end of that was a small room. The room was covered in dust, but there was an old desk and chair in the center, and a shelf on the wall with several books neatly lined up on it. Now he picks up an ancient document from among them. The document contained the history of the school's founding, and one chapter in particular caught his attention: the secret behind the school. According to the documents, the school's founder built several rooms in the basement of the current school and sealed something important in one of them in order to hide a secret. In order to protect its secrets, it is said that only those who met certain conditions could visit the place. However, the document did not provide details on what those conditions were or what was being contained. Naoki had a hunch that this ancient document was related to Yuki's disappearance. Yuki knew this secret, met the conditions for some reason, and was led to the underground room. He finds Yuki and the two decide to investigate further in order to unravel the secret behind the school. Based on clues written in ancient documents, Naoki resumes his search for the forbidden land behind the school. Convinced that this underground secret is connected to Yuki's disappearance, he is determined to find out the truth no matter what. After finding the entrance to the basement, he descended the dark, damp stairs again. When I pushed open the old door, I found a dimly lit passageway just like last time. But this time he went further with even more determination. As he follows the passage, he eventually reaches the location of the forbidden area marked on the map. At first glance, it looked like an ordinary wall, but upon closer inspection, he noticed that there was a small gap in one part of the wall. He pushed hard against the wall, and it slowly began to move, revealing the entrance to a hidden room. The room seemed to contain many important secrets related to the founding of the school, as indicated by ancient documents. Inside the room was an old desk and some shelves, on which were many documents and some old scientific equipment. Naoki picked up the documents on the desk and carefully examined them one by one. It contained detailed records of experiments that the school's founder had secretly conducted. The purpose of these experiments was to push the human mind and learning abilities to their limits, and their methods were completely unacceptable from modern ethical standards. As Naoki explores further, he finds a hidden door leading to the exam room. The moment Naoki opened the door, What unfolded before him was a scene that felt like another world. A number of small classrooms were set up in the vast underground space, each lined with old desks and chairs. There is a blackboard on the wall, on which are written half-erased mathematical formulas and a historical timeline. This place felt like another school, but the atmosphere was completely different from the school above, giving it a cold, mechanical impression. Naoki realizes that this underground school is part of a secret written in ancient documents, and that it is a facility created to realize the ideal education pursued by the school's founder, Ta. A special curriculum not taught in regular schools was conducted here, and the selected students received special training that was different from their regular academic studies. As he continues his search, Naoki enters a classroom. In the center of the room was a large circular table with chairs arranged around it. On the table was an old globe, a number of books, and a notebook containing complex math problems. This room looked like a laboratory, and I could imagine it was a place where students gathered to learn and have discussions. However, there was no sign of anyone in that place, and silence reigned. Naoki decides to go deeper to find out what is going on here and why such a place was kept secret. In his heart, there was a strong determination to find the answer to what Yuki went through in this other school and why he disappeared. While exploring the underground school, Naoki gradually realizes that this place was not just an educational facility, but a place where experiments to maximize human potential were carried out, initiated by the school's founder. Understand that, and his suspicions that Yuki was also involved in the experiment grew stronger. As Naoki deepens his exploration of the other school underground, he notices a strange phenomenon. When he looked into some classrooms, he noticed that the hands of the clock seemed to be moving abnormally fast, while in others it seemed as if time had stopped. This mysterious phenomenon instills deep anxiety in Naoki's heart. As he continues his search, he discovers a special laboratory located in the deepest part of the underground facility. Inside the laboratory, complicated equipment was lined up, and a large circular machine was installed in the center. A number of measuring instruments are attached to the walls, and they blink as if they are monitoring something. In the corner of the room was an old diary. When Naoki picks up the diary and turns the pages, he finds a record of an experiment conducted by the person who seems to be the school's founder. According to the diary, the founder was conducting an experiment to manipulate time in order to maximize human potential. He believed that by speeding up or slowing down the flow of time, it was possible to dramatically increase the efficiency of learning. However, the experiment caused an unexpected side effect, causing time distortion. This distortion spread around the laboratory, affecting the entire underground facility. As Naoki reads this record, he realizes that Yuki may have been caught up in this time distortion and disappeared. Perhaps Yuki was trapped in a space where time flows differently. If so, this time distortion must be corrected somehow in order to rescue him. Naoki tries to find a way to correct the distortion of time by using the equipment and records left in this laboratory. However, It was a risky challenge, and there was no guarantee of success. When Naoki tries to find a way to operate a device he found in an underground laboratory, it corrects the distortion of time. He suddenly loses consciousness with a flash of light. When he wakes up, he finds himself in a completely different environment. It's a familiar school classroom, but only a few students, including Yuki, are there. They couldn't hide their great surprise when they saw Naoki. Yuki starts talking to Naoki. They find themselves trapped in this closed world due to an accident that occurred during a time manipulation experiment in a laboratory. This is a special space where time flows differently from the outside world, and they have been forced to live in this space for many years. Even though only a short amount of time had passed in the outside world, to them, many years had passed. Although shocked, Naoki tries desperately to think of a way to break out of this situation. Yuki and her friends tried to escape many times, but all ended in failure. This space they are trapped in is like a bubble created by time distortion, and if they can break the wall, they should be able to return to the outside world. Naoki, Yuki, and the other students decide to join forces and return to the laboratory. They discover the device that created the time distortion in a laboratory deep in the underground facility. Naoki attempts to adjust the device based on his knowledge from the outside world and the records he found in the underground facility. They manipulate the device and succeed in releasing energy to break through the walls of the closed world. However, at that moment, a strong light engulfs everyone, and now he loses consciousness again. When he woke up, he was alone in the school's backyard. He looked around and saw that there was no entrance to the underground facility and everything seemed to be back to normal. Now he searches for Yuki and the others, but they are nowhere to be seen. He is unsure if they were able to escape from the time distortion and return to their own world. However, inside the school, Yuki's evidence left behind that told of Yuki and other students' memories of the other school. Naoki learns that this experience was not a dream but a real event, and comes to believe that Yuki and the others are waiting for them somewhere. The truth is not revealed whether the escape from this closed world was successful or whether only Naoki was returned to his original world. However, Naoki keeps in mind the bond he has with Yuki and the others and the importance of the time they spent together, and continues to pray for their safety. Naoki is torn between his hope that he might be able to return to his own world and the thought that Yuki and the others might be waiting for him somewhere. His heart longed to return to the underground facility once again and find a way to bring Yuki and the others back. However, the entrance to the underground facility has already disappeared, and his memories are the only clue. Naoki decides to once again find the entrance to the underground facility, relying on the knowledge he gained through the time distortion and the memories he had with Yuki and the others. He repeatedly scoured the school's backyard, searching for any clues that might point to an underground facility. However, everything comes to a standstill, and he gradually begins to feel hopeless. At that moment, he remembers the days he spent with Yuki and remembers the words Yuki used to say. Answers are always hidden in the places you least expect them. Instead of searching for the entrance to the underground facility once again, Naoki discovers that the clues to finding a way back from the time distortion on their own are in the world above. I started to think that it might have been left behind. He searches around the school, visiting places of memories shared with Yuki and the others, the classrooms they spent time together, and a specific spot in the school's backyard that they liked. While there, he discovers that important documents related to experiments in the underground facility are hidden, and the documents contain clues to solving the time distortion. With the document in hand, Naoki decides to leave a message somewhere in the school that will show Yuki and the others a way to return to their own world on their own. He decided to hide the message in the school's library, the place Yuki and the others visited most often, where they felt at peace. The message detailed the steps to escape from the underground facility and eliminate the time distortion. Naoki fulfilled his role, believing that Yuki and the others would one day find this message and be able to return to their original world. His decision was one filled with friendship, trust, and hope for the future. Although Naoki himself was unable to return to the underground facility once again, he was able to save Yuki and the others by preparing a way for them to return safely. The message left behind by Naoki continued to exist quietly in the corner of the library as a proof of hope that transcends time and space. Days pass, seasons change, new students come to school and old ones leave. Naoki himself has graduated and is now taking a new step in his life. However, the memories of the underground facility and the days spent there remain clear only in Naoki's mind. Everyone else forgets about Yuki's existence, and the underground facility and experiments related to time distortion are dismissed as mere legends and baseless rumors. Naoki sometimes felt lonely as he was the only one who knew the truth. A few years later, Naoki had a chance to visit the school again. After graduating from university and starting his life as a working adult, he suddenly decides to visit the backyard and library of the school where he, Yuki, and other friends used to live. In that place, where nothing should have changed, he looked back on his past, as if communicating with a faint memory. In the library, he searches for the message he once hid. The message could not be found, perhaps because a long time had passed. However, by staying in that place for a long time, he was able to strangely find peace of mind. The memories of Yuki and the others may have been forgotten, but the value of the time they spent together has never faded in Naoki's mind. In the end, whether Naoki and the others were able to return to their original world, he never knew the answer. However, he chose to move forward, keeping in mind the trials they overcame together and the bond they shared in believing in each other even in the face of hardship, even in forgotten memories. Naoki's friendship with Yuki will continue to shine forever in his heart. It was an unchanging truth that transcended time and space. Time passes, Naoki grows up, and is busy with his life as a working adult. However, deep in his heart, the days he spent in the school's underground facility and the bonds he had with Yuki and other friends still remain vivid. It was an indelible bond that would not fade over time. Naoki searched for a way to share his experiences with others and eventually began writing his novels based on his memories. He creates stories based on events that he actually experienced in a way that readers can understand. The novel was titled Escape from a Closed World and was a work depicting the friendship and adventures of a boy and girl trapped in a time distortion. The published novel received high praise from readers for its unique setting and heartwarming message. Many people are moved by the story and feel a strong sympathy for the character Yuki in particular. However, no one expected that the story was based on Naoki's real experience. One day, Naoki meets a young man at a novel signing event. The person turned to Naoki and introduced himself, saying, "I'm Yuki. I could feel the time we spent together in the story you wrote." Naoki was shocked and couldn't believe that the young man in front of him was really his former best friend, Yuki. But when he looked into his eyes, he saw the eyes of his former friend. Yuki also escapes from the time distortion and returns to the world where Naoki is. The two reunited, confirmed their friendship that has remained unchanged even after a long time, and talked about their lives so far. Yuki found a message left by Naoki, and she told them that it was the clue to saving them. Naoki's actions brought them together again. This reunion made Naoki realize once again that the events of the past were no pipe dream, and that his actions could have the power to save the people he cares about. An indelible bond reunites them, and the memories of the past become hope for a new future, etched deep in their hearts.